I love old keys, and I've got a collection here that belonged to my Uncle Lester. He saved them for many years. He said if you have the right key, you can open any locked door. He saw them as power. And I love that because that is a physical representation of a spiritual truth. Jesus talked a lot about keys, and he talked about the keys to his kingdom and the keys to Satan's kingdom. He talked about how basically keys were power and authority. In fact, in Matthew 16:19, he said, "And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." So keys have to do with binding and loosing. Also, in Revelation 1:18, Jesus says that he holds the keys to death and Hades. That's Satan's kingdom. He has the keys to Satan's kingdom. And you know, the amazing thing is that Jesus gave those keys to his kingdom to the disciples. And when we choose to follow Jesus, when we believe that Jesus came in the flesh, that God came in the flesh, he died on the cross, and he rose from the dead, and we choose to make him the Lord of our life, he chooses to give us the keys to his kingdom as well. So we have two kingdoms and a set of keys for Satan's kingdom and a set of keys for God's kingdom. The problem is that there is a third key, and that is the key to our heart. Now, we are born in by default into Satan's kingdom. So he basically holds the key to our heart until we choose Jesus, until we're born again. And then the key to our heart's transferred over to God's kingdom. There's another issue, though, that goes on, and this is what Connie's been talking about for the last couple of weeks with the war within. Satan's so not happy that Jesus now holds the key to our heart. And so he is warring against us continually, and our soul, our mind, will, and emotions still has connections to the things of the flesh. And Galatians, that is exactly what Galatians talks about. Galatians 5, I'll start reading at 16. It says, "I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. These are in opposition to one another, so that you may not do the things that you please. But if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under the law." Now the works of the flesh are revealed, which are these: adultery, sexual immorality, impurity, lewdness, idolatry, sorcery, hatred, strife, jealousy, rage, selfishness, dissensions, heresies, envy, murders, drunkenness, carousing, and the like. I warn you, as I previously warned you, that those who do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, goodness, faithfulness, meekness, and self-control. Against such there is no law. Those who are Christ's have crucified the flesh with its passions and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be conceited, provoking one another and envying one another. Well, there we have it. That's pretty clear. Here's the war going on. God may hold our heart, but Satan is continually going to be battering our soul, trying to grab our heart back away from the things of the kingdom of God. And so we have to be aware of this battle. And I just hope that these keys will help remind you of this war and of the choice that you have every day to make. Joshua, in Joshua chapter 24, he basically put that to the children of Israel. He said, "Choose this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And so when we recognize this battle that's going on for our hearts, we need to crucify our flesh, like Galatians talked about, and choose to listen to our spirit that is connected with God's spirit. And then we will be able to make godly choices. And over time, the things of the flesh will grow uh, less dear to us. They will lose their strongholds, they will lose their power, and we will find that we are able to move further and further away from the things that have held us, tied us into Satan's kingdom for so long. What an awesome challenge for us. 2 kingdoms, 3 keys. Which kingdom are we going to allow to rule our hearts? God bless.